Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Well, welcome back out to Giga-Texas. It's Monday, the 6th of November, 2023. And there's a lot of activity going on as usual here all over the site. And we're going to get a good chance to see most of that in the video. Now, first off, if you haven't figured out yet, we're just 24 days away from the Cybertruck event here at Giga-Texas. And I know a lot of people are excited about it, and there's a lot of Cybertruck sightings happening all over the country now, including here at Giga-Texas today. Another thing that I want to just show you here quickly is after my flight on Friday, I was able to get this image here of the main entrance all lit up at night. And it really looks great with all of the various lighting and just how this looks. It looks like it's also getting close to being ready for that Cybertruck delivery event. And I know that's just going to be outstanding to see all those Cybertrucks underneath this main entry. Now, a couple things that I want to talk about in the intro before we get into the video. First, as you can see by this image, down on the south end, the work on the footings is definitely continuing at a very fast rate. Not only are they expanding further to the west with the excavation work, but also they are pouring concrete using forms, and we see the column bases sticking up pretty far above the graded area. Now, this is different than what we saw in the main factory construction for the footings. So this is an interesting difference that I'm going to continue to monitor. But if you happen to know what the reason for these column bases being so high of the grade are, let me know. Another development on that south side, as you can see by this image, is that GeoPiers have resumed over on the west side. So in addition to the CFA piles, we're also getting more of the GeoPiers on that west side in preparation for more of the footings to continue along that side. Now, the last thing I want to mention, I did briefly discuss it at the first part of the intro, is that there are 7 Cybertrucks today, actually 8, but only 7 that I caught on pictures. And with this series, you can see what they look like. Now, for the first time, 2 of them are over by the helicopter pad at that testing and calibration lot. And then over in the outbound lot, we get a chance to see 5 more of them. Now, the video that I did on Friday captured 1, and it had the last 3 of the serial number is 863, which is the 863rd and also a Series 8 Cybertruck. I don't know what these are, I couldn't tell, but they're definitely starting to pick up the production of the Cybertrucks, which is a great sign. Now, there's a lot more to talk about and see in the video today, so we'll get into that right away. Thank you again for watching and for your support. I do appreciate it. Take care.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. That was a quick view across the highway over onto the west side, and you can see the progress in the outbound lot and the new end-of-line structure and some of the other work that is going on. Today we're going to concentrate mostly on this side of the highway, and as I turn the drone back around, I'll give you a good close-in view where that horizontal drilling has concluded. They pulled the HDPE pipe through and also the smaller pipe through that larger pipe. And this is how it looks today. They're just waiting to begin the wiring through the conduit in that angled trench that goes across the road. And then that will eventually wire up the other side of the highway to this main factory. The temporary end of line is very busy today. You can see the number of Model Ys that are coming out of the 2 ramps and more on the inside, with some of the lights flashing as they do the final preparations before they move them over to the testing calibration lot on the east side. The main entrance continues to have some work near the doors and just inside the doors to prepare for that Cybertruck delivery event later on this year. Now, as we continue to fly along the west side, heading to the south, you can get a good sense of some of the materials that are continuing to be delivered here. It looks like maybe some HVAC ducting. And then here is some interesting deliveries on this accordion truck. And I'll try to zoom in and give you a good view. Looks like some pipes, possibly maybe for a manifold section, and also some what looks like mounts being moved off the trailer with those forklifts, and some other items as well. So kind of cool to see that they continue to bring items in to finish out the new assembly lines in this area. Also, more equipment being delivered and moved up on top of the two platforms. And this is a good view revealing the entire southwest side and south side where the extension of the building is underway. First thing is the CFA drill rig. That crane is still being dismantled, but we do see GeoPiers have returned to this area and are continuing to put in more piers. Looks like they're actually drilling over where that temporary road was installed. And I'll continue to circle around and give you a closer view from the opposite side of that operation. But as I bring the drone up a little bit higher in altitude, this gives you a good view of the drill on the left, some excavation work going on as well, and then the impactor here, which is getting assembled and getting ready to start operations in the middle of the screen. And of course, the two cranes on the right-hand side of the screen were part of that continuous flight auger pile system. And it looks like they're going to be using both the piles and the GeoPiers to finish off this portion of the site to allow for that extension work. As I continue to bring the drone around, this gives you a good view of the entire south side and how it looks today. And just some of the activity here on the west side, which is the last part that is getting prepared for eventually to have footings started to be installed here in this section. As I work my way around the cranes, I'll give you a kind of a closer in view of the GeoPier work that is going on, plus some of the work on the walls to finish those replacement panels for the windows and some of the concrete panels, and putting some of the white stain on it. You can see that excavation and also some of that GeoPier that's going on right in the middle of this roadway. And it just reinforces that these were just temporary roads used for the construction process. Now, I did notice somewhere up this way towards the south bridge that there were some landscaping crews working. Also, it looks like there's some work with a pipe going into this section with some of the gravel and the underground water pipe. And again, this may be where we saw that permit requesting assistance from Austin Energy with a guy wire for a pole as they continue to do some repair work on that underground water management system on this section of the facility. We also see that they continue to remove some of that curbing on the river road at that intersection. And of course, here gives you a good view of all of the light poles that have been installed on the median of River Road. So now I want to take the time to come over closer to the intersection. We're going to get a zoom in, and I want to show you what looks to be two footings still under construction just to the south of that concrete intersection. You can see one of the workers is putting in some frames. In addition to that, we see more of the gray steel items being delivered now on this east side and being stored near the road. And there's two large sections of that. Also rebar, where they're continuing to make the rebar cages for the footings. From this vantage point, this gives you a good view of the formwork and the column bases that are extending above the grade. In addition to that, we can see rebar work along what will be the perimeter grade beam, and overall giving that outline that mimics what the factory looks like right now. So you can see how that extension is going to basically move the entire south of the building with those angled corners out to this location. This is another good view of some of the formwork and how those column bases are looking right now, and all of them are extending above the grade level so far. And as I mentioned in the intro, that is something that is different with these footings than what we saw on the main construction for the building itself, because those had the column bases pretty much at the grade level. This gives you a good view of how the footings have continued to expand to the west, now almost across the face of Stamping 2 with those scaffoldings and all of the white stain that's been installed. So let me fly around here and give you a few more closer in views of the work that is going on here in the south side with the footing construction. It's a good view of one of the column bases with the forms removed, and you can get an idea with the concrete and with the workers that these are about 2 meters above the grade level, which is very interesting. And if you have an idea why, let me know in the comments section. Here's a zoom in of some of the equipment, some of the wooden crates and the tanks that have been delivered, stored, and waiting for installation on the southeast side of the stamping machine structure. And then as I zoom back out, we can get a good view as we climb up over the factory of the east side construction project for the multi-level parking garage. And what we see going on here is that the GeoPiers may be completed because all of the GeoPier equipment has been moved off of the site, and particularly in that middle area. We also have a good sense of the amount of concrete footings and plumbing installation on the west side, extending almost to about halfway of the prepared surface here, and then more of the footings have had the concrete poured. The steel corrugated pipe for the underground management system for water is continuing to have that manifold prepared and have the gravel and dirt put on top of it on the left hand of the screen, and then more of them stored on the right hand side of the screen. And as I continue to maneuver the drone, you can see how that manifold system has been put in place. The gravel mix has been placed on top, and then now they're filling it back in with dirt. And this is all preparation for a road that will run north to south along that section and connect the river road to the south and the main access road on the north. And as I continue to pull away, this is a good view of how this entire south end looks today. As we approach into the testing and calibration lot and near where the helicopter pad is, for the first time we see two of the Cybertrucks parked in this part of the site. And also we don't see a whole lot of Model Ys either. So it looks like most of the Model Ys have been transported off site and they're getting ready to resume that production today. And then these two Cybertrucks appear that well, at least one of them has been driven in the mud. You can see in the wheel wells, but otherwise it's a good close-in view of how these look today, and the fact that for the first time we've seen Cybertrucks being parked in a new location on the site. As I pull away and zoom out, you'll get a good sense of just how few Model Ys are here in the testing and calibration lot. I did see one Cybertruck earlier supercharging, but that was moved by the time I got the drone back over on this side. But this gives you a good sense of the amount of Model Ys getting supercharged and final checkouts before they move over to the outbound lot. On the east side of the main building, as I zoom in, you can get a good sense of this continued apron work and the platform pedestal for the load levelers for the receiving doors on the left, and all of the covered receiving door structures that are being installed on this section. and final work for that concrete apron area that is still in dirt. As we continue to fly to the north, you'll note that the white stain on the exterior walls continues to be applied, working to the north. And we also see all of those cables, the electrical cables by the base of the wall going into the vault. And then also here we see more of the cables being worked on by the crew. These are the last of the wiring system going through the electrical conduit going along this entire dirt path here that works its way up to the electrical switchyard. And once this is all completed, they'll be able to bring the second transformer online at that switchyard, which I'll be able to show you later in the video. There's also a good view of the east side and northeast side of the casting machine structure. Also note all of the wooden crates that we saw on the ground here have been moved inside. We also have a good view here of the work on the roof for this ventilation system. And looks like more of the bases for those rectangular vents are being put in as well. As I maneuver the drone and bring it down in altitude, we'll proceed over to the outbound lot where we'll see another grouping of Cybertrucks. In this case, there are 5 of them. And I'll bring the drone down in low, give you a good zoom in so you get a good chance to take a look at what these look like. Now it appears possibly that one of these Cybertrucks may have some white on the dashboard. It may indicate that it's a white interior, but I'll let you judge based on what you can see with the images. But I'll continue to maneuver the drone around and give you some different perspectives of these 5 Cybertrucks and how they look today. As I continue to turn the drone this way, you can definitely tell that the middle Cybertruck on the left has a white interior versus the one right next to it, which is black. Now, some people have said that the white interior has to have white seats. That appears to not be the case, as you can tell here, but I'll let you draw your own conclusions based on this video evidence. And let me know in the comments if you think that this is actually one of the first with a white interior or if it's something else. So let me pull up the drone and away from the Cybertrucks, reveal where we're flying, and also a little bit more look at the outbound lot and some of the activity here today as we prepare to move the drone over towards the battery cathode plant. Much of the main activity going on here today is in the alleyway between the 2 structures, the die shop on the left, the battery cathode on the right. You can see the new concrete that's poured, the concrete forms and rebar waiting for more concrete, and then preparation right down the middle, which is most likely going to be a paved road. We'll probably see some concrete on the right-hand side as well. Work on the left shows more of the tanks, vaporizers, and concrete. And on the right shows those 4 nitrogen tanks that have been relocated and their reinforced mounts. And you can see all the concrete's been poured, so they should be getting ready to move those tanks back to their original location. As I bring the drone up, I'll give you a good view of some more of the formwork around those 2 stainless steel tanks and work on the ground level near this area, and also how the chiller plant looks, the steel corrugated pipe in the middle, and that underground conduit that goes to the die shop on the left. And we'll get another view of the west side here shortly. But I'm going to come up over the battery cathode plant and bring the drone down to give you a good view here on the east side and how it looks today, and some of the activity with getting this entire side have all the equipment moved inside and assembled, and just how it is looking today. The work on the earthwork on the water detention pond continues. This is a good view of how it looks today. and how it's continuing to have the top part of the dirt area on the right flattened down by some of those excavators. They're also pumping some of the water out of the middle of that section, and you can see that hose going over to the green area. Also, this projection out is getting more and more of the steel corrugated pipes installed in what will be a underground manifold system, it appears, and this may be part of the main drain for the water detention pond. But it is kind of odd how it's just jutting out towards the east side here. A good view of how it looks. So something I'll continue to watch and see how it develops over time. As we continue to fly the drone around the north end of the battery cathode plant, this is a good view from this perspective of the east side, the wade pit, the crash test facility with that rounded top, and the cell test and recycling lab on the left-hand side of the screen. As we cross the north face of the battery cathode plant, we can see a lot of work going on here at the lift station. This is where the concrete vaults are located. You can see some of the workers, and it looks like they are putting more pipes now emanating out from the smaller of the vaults, and you can see the black pipes, and then the trench work that will extend down to the south. So this continues to have developments, and looks like they are nearing the point where the actual plumbing pipes will be installed. As we continue to fly around the west side, you can see on the left that geotextile membrane that's being applied and then dirt on top of it to reinforce and strengthen the dirt in this area. And I would expect to see that either paved or have concrete placed for parking at some point in the near future. On the west side of the die shop, briefly stop here. Again, those large sections of concrete that have been cut out of the slab inside the open door on the left. And this just indicates that they're doing some more reconfiguration work on the interior, probably because of new equipment that materialized after they finished the structure, which is a fairly common occurrence here at Giga-Texas. As I've mentioned on multiple videos, the temporary electrical switchyard on the left is no longer operational. All the power of the Giga-Texas is being provided by the transformer on the top, and then the second transformer here is the one that we're waiting for the wiring on the east side of the casting machine structure to be completed. Now, some people have asked, how do I know which one is operational? And that's a good question. The upper level shows you where the bus breakers are closed. The bottom arrow shows where they are open. And that is how I know which of the transformers is operational and connected right now. So hopefully once all that wiring is completed by the casting machine structure, we'll be able to get the second one operational. Another large component has just been delivered. We can see this on the trailer. Actually, some other components as well. The largest one has red rings around the top and the bottom. Not sure exactly what that is, but if you know, let me know in the comments section, as it does help. As you can see here, Upload J answered the same or similar question on my previous video of what those items are. You can see with the arrow on top of the pole. And he says those are voltage gradient controls. And Elton Ray also says that these are cable termination and insulators for the 345 kilowatt cables for the battery electric storage system. So I really appreciate the help of my viewers to identify what these items are. So as I continue to maneuver over the power poles back down towards the south, we can take a look at how the Megapack site looks today. Now, most of the activity continues on the north end. We can see those voltage gradient devices here as well, with the large cables coming up from the conduit in the bottom of the screen. I also get a good sense of how the last bit of work to finish out this section with some of the gravel and other connections so that they can get this operational. In addition to that, we can see that some more work is being done on the cabinets on the left for the Megapacks themselves. So I think we're getting really close to seeing that final tested and commissioned, and then it will be able to put into operation here at Giga-Texas. So anyway, that's a pretty quick view of the activity here at the site today. A lot of Cybertrucks. Production of Model Y looks like they are ramping that back up again for this week, plus the work on the south end to continue that building extension project and a lot of other projects as well. Thanks again for your support. I hope you have a great week.